Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And today I'm going to be showing you my new fragrances that I have bought in I don't know, 2.5 months probably. And I also wanted to discuss with you a very important topic. So I'm gonna start with the topic and then I'm gonna show you the fragrances. So the topic is sometimes when the new fragrance is launched and I got the message like, are you gonna buy it? Are you planning on buying it? And it's like these comments always like leave me a bit like wondering, why would I need to buy every single fragrance that comes out? If you just go on Fragrantica database and you just type in fragrances from 2024 till 2024, so all the fragrances that came out in 2024, and for those of you that will watch me in 2025, we are now in the mid of November, so we still have a month and a half to go. So it has been roughly about 5,000 releases in 2024 until today. So it makes around 14 fragrances daily that come out, like new fragrances, 14 pieces. And obviously these are not all fragrances that come out, because we have indie brands, independent brands, the brands that are operating on a smaller scale and they just don't have so many releases, and Fragrantica doesn't put them in the database. I mean, it's probably more than 5,000 every year. So, and sometimes people kind of confuse me. I'm a blogger. I talk about fragrances. I love fragrances, but this is not my job. My This is my hobby. This is my passion. I love reviewing fragrances that I love, and I would never get myself a fragrance that I don't like, that I don't need, that I'm not gonna use it. And sometimes, we people, that it doesn't really matter if we make videos, we talk about fragrances, or we don't, or we're just fragrance enthusiasts. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed by all of this newness that comes out every single day. I just want to make an example. Like, if you have watched my video that came out on Wednesday, where I talk about 5 fragrances that I loved the most at the Spitti Fragranze exhibition in Florence. The 5 fragrances that I love the most. But to choose these 5 fragrances, I had to spend hours and hours testing, wearing, trying, comparing these fragrances, because I had to make sure that I really love this fragrance. I had to make sure that this is not a fragrance that reminds me of anything else, because if it does, then there's just no reason for me to fall in love with this fragrance, because it's just reminiscent of something else. So it's time and time. It's a lot of time to compare and to try these fragrances. I probably went through, like, I don't know, 200 fragrances, 160, 70, I don't know, a lot. Just an example, just a small example. I have here the kit of Zero Molecule, which is the brand, Italian brand, and they had given me this kit at this exhibition, and so they have 8 fragrances in the kit, right? So I'm just gonna extract the 8 fragrances from here to show you. So they have 8 fragrances in this kit, 8 of them. So to try all of them, I had to have like 8 spare days, because I had to wear this fragrance. I had to understand if I like it or not. I have to understand if it's kind of, I do have standards when it comes to fragrances. So kind of to understand if this fragrance is above or below the standard, and those are above the standard. And some of the fragrances I did love, some of them are just not my vibe, but they're not bad fragrances. So I had to get I had to get this idea, and I don't have just this kit. I had lots of kits, so it's a huge amount of work, and that's why I put out this video. Well, the exhibition was in the middle of September, and I put this video 2 months after, in the middle of November, right? So and it just to show you that it is impossible, humanly impossible, to test the fragrance, every single fragrance that comes out, and understand this fragrance, because I do have my fragrances that I love and I wear. I want to wear my collection of fragrances, not just the samples or the fragrances that I get at the exhibition, etc., etc. So my message is probably for you is to just stop for a moment and to start appreciating the collection that you have. It doesn't mean that I stopped buying new fragrances. I will show you the fragrances that I have bought, but just stop for a moment and stop rushing and stop wanting to constantly update the collection, because when we are in this hurry to kind of update, to put the newest fragrances, we forgot about the basis of having fragrance collection is to enjoy the fragrances. And when we are chasing the new fragrances, and just think about that, the fragrance came out, right, and people want immediately a review on that, and sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes I can't get it because sometimes this fragrance comes to where I live like a month after the launch date, or maybe doesn't come at all, because there's the difference in the markets, etc. Or sometimes, like if we talk about like some niche brands like L'Artisan, they just don't ship to several European countries. They don't ship to Finland, they don't ship to Norway, they don't ship to some other countries. They just don't. They used to, but now they don't. So I mean, I do feel that we are in a constant pressure to buy new, try new, and if we buy a fragrance that we loved, it just came out, but we like it already. And usually, I usually wait for kind of discount or the promotion or something like that to reduce the price of the brand of the fragrance, right? And it kind of sometimes feels like when I get this fragrance is already old, and I don't even know if it's like, if there's the reason to talk about this fragrance anymore. I still enjoy it, I still love it, but I do know that some viewers that they're not just gonna watch the video anymore. So just so my message is to let's just you know, try to focus on what we already have. It doesn't mean that we have to go on no buy. It doesn't mean that we have to stop buying the fragrances, because it's not the message of this video. The message of this video is that we have to go back to our roots. We love the fragrances, we should love the fragrances, we should wear the fragrances that we like. If we love the fragrance that just came out, it's a new fragrance, we go out, we buy it, we enjoy it. But we don't have to rush to get every single new fragrance. Talking about the new fragrances, I'm gonna show you two of the fragrances that I have got. They are new, like new, and well, it's not all that new already. This is L'Interdit Absolu, and I will leave the video about this fragrance because I made a video about this fragrance. I had a sample, and oh my gosh, I love this one. This is the new one that they launched, and this is the first one in this L'Interdit line that is sort of unisex fragrance, and this is amazing. This is amazing. And I've already told you that I have this rule. It's unscripted, but when it comes to these bottles or this L'Interdit line, for some reason I don't love the bigger bottles. I don't love 50 ml bottles. I don't love 80 ml bottles because they're just very, very big. They are very uncomfortable to even to hold in my hand. So that's why I opted for 35, and every single fragrance that I have them in 35 because they just look better. And for this one, I was tempted, should I or should I not get a 50 ml or maybe 80 ml? But nonetheless, I have a lot of fragrances, so I opted for 35. And oh my gosh, this is a brilliant, splendid, beautiful, amazing fragrance. It's just so, so good. So I obviously I do have a the cardboard packaging here as well. So I'm not gonna be showing you the cardboard packaging, or should I? I will. Anyway, second, and this is really a brand new. It came out later than this one. It came out like probably 2 weeks ago, and right away when it came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this fragrance because because I love cherries. I have already told you that I'm a cherry fan. I love cherries, and the cherry loving didn't start today. It didn't start like a year ago, 2, 3 years ago. It started 20 plus years ago when I realized that one of my favorite notes is a cherry note. It can be a cherry, it can be sour cherry. There's two different notes, but I love it. I love it just around as much as I love white flowers. So when this brand, and this is the brand that I had an opportunity to go and visit the factory because I was there in Grasse in France, and I got myself a factory tour, and I actually created a fragrance there at the factory. So this is Galimard, and they have launched this ruby cherry, or like ruby Cheri probably, and this is parfum, and they actually sell these fragrances in different concentrations. So basically they do have the base, and then they just dilute the base, and you can get eau de toilette, you can get eau de parfum and probably something else, and you can also get the refill. I'm gonna read you the notes of this fragrance, and right away, well, when it launched, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this one. And I didn't make a mistake. I ordered it right away. It came out, it came to me really, really fast. And so it has almond and cherry blossom, magnolia. It has coffee inside, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. So if you would like to have a to listen to a review, just let me know. I love this fragrance. I'm really, really happy with this one. And actually, as a part of the promotion, because they have just launched this fragrance, they had this offer that if you get a fragrance, you basically, if you get anything from 30 euro onwards, is it 30 or 35? Anyway, 30 something. They would give you a 15 ml of this same fragrance, and this is parfum as well. So I have 30 ml parfum and 15 ml parfum. As you can see, I'm using both of them because this is my staying home fragrance and this is my purse fragrance. So I am loving it. This is good. This is very nice. So next one is the fragrance that I have actually wanted it for such a long time, and I remember chasing this fragrance, and it just didn't come to us. It just didn't come to our stores, and I saw this fragrance on Notina, and I was like, should I or should I not? Because it has well, first of all, this is the cocoa. Well, I haven't shown you the package of the Galimard. So the packaging of the Galimard is kind of simple but impactful. And so this one is the fragrance that is from Be Delicious, and this is dkny Coconuts About Summer, this one, and this is the fragrance. And I remember when it came out, I believe it came out kind of probably 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. So, and the fragrance actually It has the notes of coconut nectar, magnolia, and white musk. And I love coconuts. I love coconut fragrances. They are amazing, but they can be very overwhelming. They can be headache inducing. Even for me, I am a coconut lover. I love coconut notes. I love coconut fragrances, coconut shower gels, and all the stuff. But sometimes some coconut fragrances, they really are very heavy, and they really make me like sick sometimes. So that's why I was like hesitant getting it like without the prior testing. I have a fly here, so if you see a fly, it's a fly. Yeah, I don't know how it got here. Anyway, so and well, like without testing, I wasn't ready to get it because I don't want a fragrance that I'm not able to use afterwards. So and when I was in the airport in Spain, and by the way, Spain is now it's going through the very rough time. So I'm very very sorry for all these people, and I do hope that they will, you know, manage to to make things better for them. And I'm very sorry for all these lost lives. I was in Spain. We were there for um, America's Cup. And when we were getting back at the airport, I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the sign that I should get it, because they also had a tester, obviously. So I tested it. I understood that I am actually fine with this fragrance, because coconut nectar, you see, the nectar is something really sticky sweet, right? And then we have coconuts, and it's like, it could have been really really sweet and sticky sweet and not good for me, but it's good, it is good. So I'm really happy that I have finally got this fragrance. So as you can see, these are the fragrances. Some of them are like new, brand new, they just came out, but this one, it came like years ago, and I still want it, and I like it, and I really don't care. I really don't want to chase all the new fragrances, because it doesn't really matter when this fragrance was launched, as long as I like it. And so the next one is this is the fragrance that I actually got the same place, the same airport of Barcelona. And you know, I'm not ashamed to say, but I have never ever tried those fragrances. I have just because I don't have a place where to try them, and you know, the fly is killing me. Come on, buddy, get lost. Anyway, and I have tried their fragrances at the airport, and I have got myself one, and this is the fragrance that is Tous, and this is Neon Candy. Beautiful, beautiful packaging, and this is the bottle. Beautiful bottle, is it's 100 ml, and we have this teddy bear, very nice and sweet one. So this is the brand, this is the luxury brand from Catalan, so from the Catalonia region. So anyway, what do we have here? We have here pink pepper, bergamot, mandarin orange, raspberry, peony, jasmine, musk, cedar, and amber. We have a lot of nice beautiful notes here, and this is like, people think about this fragrance as of a dupe for Midnight Rose of Lancome, and I tend to agree. This is much lighter, but this is a beautiful fragrance even on its own, without being compared to any other fragrance. I'm enjoying this fragrance actually. So I'm really really happy to have gotten this fragrance, and I'm really happy to that I was able to test all the other fragrances of the brand. Yeah, so I'm happy to have gotten this one for myself. And I have one fragrance. Well, I actually have already talked about this fragrance. I have a review of this fragrance, but it kind of, it I got it two and a half months ago, right? So it's kind of, it's a new one for me. So this is the Calvin Klein one Essence, and you know that I love Calvin Klein one. This is my favorite fragrance. But this one, Calvin Klein One Essence, this fragrance was to mark 30th 30 year anniversary of the Calvin Klein One launch. And you know, I didn't have high hopes. Well, I kind of did, but then I didn't, because I know that there's nothing that can, for me personally, go over the traditional, the first one, Calvin Klein One. But this one, this is very darn close. I mean, it's beautiful fragrance. If you haven't seen my video, I'm gonna leave the link down below in the description box as well. So go ahead and watch it. I love this fragrance. I do think that this is a very successful release. And I also have a fragrance that I have also talked to you about. This fragrance, it was in my fragrances for work. If you want, I'm gonna leave them link as well, if you haven't seen this video yet. So it has such a beautiful and such unusual notes. And this is Stella McCartney. This is Bluebell. This is Pop Bluebell fragrance. It has been discontinued, but you can still get it on the internet, online, and the prices are very, very affordable for this one. It has violet leaf, tomato leaf, green mandarin, violet, bellflower, tuberose, frangipani, musk, sandalwood, and cedar. It has a lot of beautiful fragrance notes, and this is a very light and very beautiful fragrance and very office appropriate. Do not be alarmed by the frangipani, because the frangipani is sweet, yes, but this fragrance isn't sticky sweet. This is a beautiful, beautiful gem of a fragrance. I'm not a big fan of the packaging, I have to say. I don't like the packaging, but the rest of this fragrance is just amazing. And I'm really at the end of this video. This was a fragrance that I was wearing long time ago. This fragrance isn't available. It wasn't available, but then the brand has actually relaunched it. This is a very rare thing. This is the fragrance by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and this is Gaultier 2, so the power of 2. Anyway, and I had this version that was launched years ago. It was the 2 bottles, and they had the magnet, so they were like back to back, the 2 fragrances, 30 ml, I believe, 30 and 30. It was 16 total, and it was such a beautiful fragrance. And I was wearing this fragrance and I was feeling myself like a queen. I'm not joking. It was such a revolutionary fragrance, because this fragrance actually came out in 2020, no, 2005, 2006, 5, 6, I don't remember, around that time. So I had, what, roughly 22, 23 years, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was such unusual for me, and probably unusual even for my age, or I thought it was. And anyway, and I was enjoying every single drop of this fragrance. And then the brand actually asked if there were some fragrances that people wanted to see relaunched, and they actually voted for this one. So I got myself a smaller version of this one, this Gaultier 2, and this is only 15 ml. And why I did get myself a smaller version, because, you know, sometimes it happens to me that the fragrances that I have, I want them to be part of the past, but I don't really want them to be in my present and future. And with some fragrances, they were the part of my past and the part of my now, and I want them to be a part of my future. So with this fragrance, I wasn't actually sure if I wanted to be with me all the time, and also I didn't know if this is as good as it was when it was produced originally. And oh my gosh, yes, it's good. It is good. It's amazing. So if you want a review for this fragrance, let me know. And the notes of this fragrance are pretty excuse my voice, are pretty simple. I do believe it has amber. It has actually a lot of amber. It has amber, it has vanilla and musk. Beautiful fragrance. I love this one. Let me see if I'm right, if I do have fragrances. Fragrance notes. No, I don't have. I don't have the notes for this one, but probably on the back of this Gaultier to the power of 2, the re-edition of the original Eau de Parfum, but yeah, it doesn't actually say what notes we have here, unfortunately, but it has the 3 notes. Amber is one of them, and vanilla is one of them, and then it's probably the musk. And oh my gosh, it's good. It is very beautiful. It's such an amazing fragrance, and if you want to review, let me know. And I wish I would have gone for the bigger bottle, but then you know, you never know, because you never know how it's gonna go, right, with the relaunch. But this relaunch is very, very successful. It's very, very good. Anyway, these are all my new fragrances. As you can see, I don't have a lot of fragrances. Usually I make these videos every 2.5 months, because sometimes I don't buy fragrances for the whole month, and then I buy 3 or 4 or 5 of them in a month, because there's discounts, or there's a new launch, or the fragrance that I want, or you know, or just I was passing by like in the airport and I saw this one. It's like, oh my gosh, they have a tester, I have to test it. So anyway, let me know what you think about the fragrances that I've got, and let me know what you think about this whole overwhelming thing. And yeah, I wish you a beautiful day, I wish you a beautiful Sunday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.